This video was requested by my brother-in-law Matt, who along with this saucepan, I was lucky enough to keep in my divorce settlement. Today we're going to look at the good, the bad, and the ugly of the strength and conditioning of Yoel Romero. In case you need reminding, Yoel began his career as a decorated freestyle wrestler and product of the Cuban National Institute of Sport, Physical Education, and Recreation. He won numerous world and Olympic medals and defeated several Olympic champions as a wrestler before switching to MMA in his 30s, and was for a time one of the most dominant grapplers in the sport. Is this training the reason? Let's take a look firstly at the good. There is no questioning his work ethic and the intent with which he trains. The sessions I've seen are long and hard, and you can clearly see him putting in effort. There's also a mix of activities, and he's training more or less his entire body. That's about it for the good. Maybe as a fringe benefit, he's keeping himself fresher for sport practice because he's not really exposing himself to enough force to make himself sore or generate any real neuromuscular fatigue with the work that he's doing outside of his sport practice. What's not good about his training? I've said it once and I'll say it again. The point of dedicated strength and conditioning work is that you're creating an adaptation that, for whatever reason, sport practice is not allowing you to stimulate. If you're explosive enough to perform a standing backflip, you can ankle pick a 200-pound man off the floor in one motion, and you spend hours each week wrestling fully resisting humans. What are quarter rep squats with a fraction of that wrestler's weight going to do for you? What will pulse style push-ups or high rep abs or casually flipping a tire achieve? The answer is not a lot. If the sport requires you to chain together repeated efforts of explosive activity, when you condition, at some point you're going to want to train in a fashion that allows you to express and develop explosiveness, i.e. move with maximum intent and rest a lot. Look at his fights, then look at his conditioning, and you can see that he's never close to expressing his max output in his conditioning. What's ugly about his training? This. Is grip strength important in grappling and MMA? Sure, but there are just as productive ways to train it without risking dropping a hammer on your head or smacking yourself in the face if it bounces the wrong way off the tire. In conclusion, this video is the definition of in spite of rather than because of. In my opinion, the biggest factor in his athletic prowess is the Cuban Olympic system. They go into schools, they pick the most naturally gifted kids, they make them train 24/7, 365 for years on end, and the winners get all of the resources and rewards. He looks and performs like this because he was born to do it. He was identified at a young age, and he was one of the few who was naturally talented enough and worked hard enough to survive a highly attritional system. We need to judge the quality of a strength and conditioning plan by what it does for most people most of the time, not just one guy with all the cards stacked in his favor. If you or I tried to train like this, we wouldn't look or perform like he does. We'd probably suck and then we'd break. We're not Yoel Romero, so we shouldn't train like him. I award this program a hateful E.